Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm AJ Briggs, and these are set numbers 71823, Kai's Dragon Spinjitzu Spinner, 71824, Sora's Dragon Spinjitzu Spinner, and finally 71826, Dragon Spinjitzu Battle Pack, for of course, Arin and Raz. And these are the gimmick sets for the January 2025 wave. The single spinners each cost $8.99 in the UK and $9.99 in the US, and then the battle pack costs $17.99 in the UK and $19.99 in the US. Now we've decided to do all these gimmick sets in one video, that way it will be slightly longer, and I'll also get to compare them and show off their play features together. Now all these gimmick sets are identical to each other, only the colour scheme is different to match their respective minifigures. Now these are the spinner tops, and they are very reminiscent of the Spinjitzu Tornadoes, because recently we've been getting gimmick sets every single year, but they are their own versions of Spinjitzu, such as the Rising Dragon technique, or the ones that we got for Dragons Rising Season 1, but these look a lot more like the Spinjitzu we see in the show. Now for Raz and Arin, the spinner top colours are both gunmetal grey. For Sora we have a white one, and then Kai's is red. Nothing really special to these, except the shape of course, which I mentioned before, since they look a lot like the Spinjitzu we see in the show. Now the main thing of course are these amazing blades that you get. These are brand new pieces for this year, and you get them in lots of different colours. There's also one in the back in pearl gold, which comes in one of these sets as a side build, but since it is identical to these other ones, I thought I might as well include it in here too. They are all transparent, shiny and reflective, and personally my favourite one is Sora's, since the uniqueness of her colour. You can see that the front end of the piece resembles a dragon's face, and then moving over to the back, it's the end of the tail. And that's more visible on this pearl golden piece right here since it isn't transparent. But you can see that is the eye and the snout of the dragon, and then it kind of finishes off right at the end. But yeah, that is why these new pieces are amazing. And all you've got to do is clip them onto the sides, and you have your spinner. It's just as simple as that. The biggest issue I have with these is there are no studs on any of the pieces, either the dragon blades or the spinner tops, which means there's not much customization you can do. But there is a reason behind that, and that is because of children's safety regulations that LEGO has to follow. Because back in 2012, where you could put weapons on the spinners to customize it and fight your opponent, it kind of injured and harmed children. I guess that must have happened in real life, which is why they can't do that anymore, which is a big shame since that made it a lot more cooler, and that's also why the 2011 and 2012 spinners are still supreme to this day. But it's not all too bad, as there is still some customization you can do. Now like I mentioned before that these spinners can be taken apart into different pieces, you can mix and match them since they are all identical. Now here is an example of that. You can see that I've mixed and matched all of the blades and the spinner tops, and there's so much customization you can do here. And as there are so much colours for both the spinner tops and the blades, it makes it so much more fun. Like this, they remind me a lot of the 2011 and 2012 spinners, which are still the best by the way, but these are the closest we're ever going to get them. And they also remind me of Beyblades. With the spinners out of the way, now let's take a look at the launchers. Now here are all of the launchers which are also identical. This one is for Raz, Arin, Sora and then Kai. But the way these are designed are really cool. If I turn it around, you place your two fingers around here, you just hook them onto the sides, and then use your thumb to push the button and launch the spinner forward. You can either do it like that or use both of your fingers and then use your thumb. So I really liked how the designers were thinking how to make it easy to grip onto it and use it, because without these, I'm pretty sure it would have been a lot harder, especially for kids. Now if I turn them over to their side, you can see that there are clips, one on each side, for you to clip your minifigures' weapons. They all come with swords. Raz does come with one machete, so you can only use one of the sides, which kind of looks asymmetrical, but that isn't too big of a deal. But yeah, that way you get to keep them safe. And since the weapons are mainly gold, they add a nice touch to the design overall. Now how the mechanism works is, you have to move this back first, and then you just push the button forward, and then the spinner spins and launches forward. Now colour scheme, Sora's is the best because it utilises all of her colours from her design. You have the light pink, the dark blue, the white and also touches of gold, all colours which are used in her design. Whereas the others just use their primary colour. And that's why hers is my favourite. For Raz, they could have added some red in there. For Arin, touches of dark blue, since they do have the pieces for Sora's. And for Kai's, maybe some touches of orange. But you know, these are just launchers, they are gimmick sets, so it's not too big of a deal. I'm not really going to complain. But yeah, Sora's by far is the best. Here is Kai's spinner, so let's see how it works. Push the button forward. You can see that it spins really fast, hence they didn't allow to put weapons on there, but it also moves around quite decently. I'm going to do that again, but with just a spinner in the shot. And I've also realised that that was Raz's spinner and not Kai's, but it doesn't matter, it does the job anyways. Here is Sora's, since I really want to see how the pink looks in action. And you can see there's some white in there as well. And I may as well do Arin. And Kai's actual spinner this time. Here it is how it looks when you use it to attack the villains. That's better. Now another way you can use these is to fight your opponents, i.e. 2 players against each other, but whoever knocks both of the other opponent's blades, they win. 3, 2, 1. And you can see that time one of Arin's blade fell off. The more I use these spinners, the more and more I'm starting to like them. They're growing on me a lot. Personally, I've never really cared for gimmick sets or even spinners, but these, I think they are definitely worth having. Now let's take a look at the side build that came in the Spinjitzu battle pack, which makes the spinners much more fun. And what the aim of the game is for you and your opponent to fight and drop these pearl golden dragon blades. It has a play feature to it. And what the aim of the game is for you and your opponent to fight and drop these pearl golden dragon blades and see who gets them first. And I guess that means that you've powered up or something. But yeah, you can see that time Raz won. And one of the pillars collapsed, meaning he gets the golden dragon blade. I'm going to take off one of his dragon blades and give him this golden one. And for the video's sake, I'm going to show how the spinner looks like with both the blades on. Here is a closer look at these blades. You can see that they are identical to the other ones, but this time it's not transparent but this pearl golden colour. But I think that makes it much more special. Now taking a closer look at the side build, you can see at the bottom there's this rocky terrain. And then there are 2 pillars, one on each side. The right side has Raz's weapon, and then on the left side is a small trident, presumably for Arin. Then in the center of the shrine you have this golden gong, and then on top this trans-purple diamond piece. Right at the top are these spikes, which make it look like a villain location build, and then just beneath that is a sticker piece of a dragon. Now this dragon looks like a Chinese dragon, and because of the red and gold color scheme, I think it's the Source Dragon of Motion, at least another depiction of it, or it could be something entirely different. Now taking a look at how the play feature works, if I just remove this quickly, you can see that this piece right here is quite flimsy, on purpose of course. It moves around very easily, and it rests on top of this pillar. Now the pillar can easily be detached too, and then the whole thing collapses. And the reason why the pillar is so weak is because it's attached by one stud, so that the blades can easily knock them down. So it's a really cool little side build that you get with the spinners. It does come in Raz and Arin Spinjitzu battle pack. And the great thing about that is, although it costs double the price of a single spinner, this seems to be kind of a free side build that you get along with the spinners, which of course is great, it's a win. And it also enhances the play features, so if you have all of the spinners and you're sick and tired of battling it out and seeing who wins against your opponent, this is another goal you can go for. You can instead battle it out and see who gets the golden dragon blades. And now the final thing to cover of these spinner sets is the minifigures, so let's take a look at that. Now here are the first minifigures that you get, and these are included in Kai's Dragon Spinjitzu spinner. First of all, you get this dragon, which cannot be attached to the Dragonian Scout, simply because of their mohawk which comes in the way, so it's just a dragon on the side. Then the villain, of course, is the Dragonian Scout, the goofy looking ones with the tan mohawk. They are the ones that come with half of the armor piece and not the headpiece. I really like the gunmetal grey and the red, which go together really well. The only thing that I'm not a fan of is the tan mohawk. It just kind of looks out of place. But other than that, the printing is very detailed. You've got toe printing. The armor looks very detailed. You can see there are scratches on there, probably from battle. Now removing the weapons and the armor piece, we get a better look at the face printing. There is some fur on his face. He has kind of an angry expression. Now I don't know what the tan part is at the bottom of his head. Maybe that is some kind of skin and the teeth are growing out of it. Turning him around, you can see that he has no alternate face print. There is still some printing at the back. There is just that extra fur at the back. There's a lot more of it. And then you can also see the back of his armor with the same design. Now let's get rid of him and take a better look at Kai. Now in this gimmick set, Kai is partially exclusive. And the only thing that is exclusive is his hood. Here is what the normal Kai looks like in his new storm suit. Everything's the same, the outfit, the helmet, the face printing. The only difference is the primary colour of the helmet. And to be honest, I really don't like it. The colours do not seem to match together really well, and the gold looks really out of place. There is some gold on his torso and toe printing, however the gold that is used on his hood is not seen anywhere else on his design. Removing the hood is a Dragons Rising face print that we've seen since Season 2, or the 2024 waves. Here is his alternate face print where he's all powered up, so that is also the same from last year. But the suits, in my opinion, are one of the best we've ever had, especially for Dragons Rising. Now to my surprise, quite a lot of people do not like them. I for one do like it. It looks very futuristic and advanced and sci-fi, which are my favourite themes for anything. And that's why I rank these suits really high. You can see underneath their robes they have this golden metal chest plate, and then on top they are wearing their robes. They kind of look like some more armor on top. Now the reason why a lot of people also do not like this suit is because of the color scheme. It uses dark red instead of bright red, which Kai has always been using, but he's an adult now, and apparently the season is also going to be darker, so this just adds to that theme and makes it much more appropriate. And I kind of wish that the helmet, not even just in this set but other sets that Kai comes in, had a more maroon color to it. I like the little hints of orange all around. In the bottom right corner you have his ninja symbol. His leg printing is also very detailed with this golden metallic print. You can see it reflects a lot in the light. And then turning him around, you can see he has this Source Dragon symbol. Now these were one of my favorite parts of the suits from last year, the Tournament of Sources suits, and it's nice to see that they are carrying that design over to these suits too. Now he doesn't come with the black Tournament of Sources armor piece. The armor piece would be a hindrance when putting them into the spinners, but let's just show how it will look anyways. Now here is how it looks with the Tournament of Sources armor piece. It looks slightly better. You can see that the hood is slightly raised up. You can see his eyebrows more, but the minifigures will not fit inside of the spinners, so it really doesn't bother me all that much. Here is how it looks with his alternate face print with the hood on, and also with the armor piece. If you do not care about the armor piece and you like the design of the hood, this is the cheapest way to get him. And that was all of the minifigures for Kai's Dragon Spinjitzu spinner set. Now let's take a look at the next set of figures. Next up we have the figures of Sora's Dragon Spinjitzu spinner. We have a partially new Sora minifigure. She is an exclusive to this set. The hood is brand new and the colours match her suit. Now apparently she isn't going to be canon in the show, she's just going to be using her Dragons Rising Season 1 outfit, but it's nice to see that the sets decided to give her a new hood in her colours to make a match with the rest of the ninja suit. But other than the hood, nothing else has changed. She doesn't even use the Tournament of Sources suit. She goes all the way back to Dragons Rising Season 1, which is kind of a shame. They gave Aaron a brand new suit, which was just a printing on his torso, so I kind of wish that they did something similar to her, even if it was just as simple as that. Now for this guy, the Dragonian Warrior, he is almost identical to the Dragonian Scouts. There are some differences, that being the headpiece, which is the second part of the armor. You can see that it resembles a dragon, and then you have these two horns which come out. You've got to put those in by yourself. And with this guy, you can attach the wings at the back. Removing everything, you can see that his face printing is slightly different, and this is his alternate face print, which is engulfed in flames. And the reason for that is because with the armor piece and the headpiece on top, it looks like the dragon is going to be shooting a fireball out of its mouth, which is pretty cool. It makes these minifigures look so much more cooler. That was the only difference of the Dragonian Warriors to the Scouts, and that was Star Wars minifigure 2. But now let's take a look at the minifigures that are included in the Dragon Spinjitzu Battle Pack. And that of course is Aaron and Raz. Now Raz first of all isn't a new minifigure. He did come in last year's wave. His printing is still the same. Now that is a little bit of a shame because he's gone back to his pink stripes. So this would have been the perfect opportunity to gild that minifigure. However, it's not all that bad. And that's because this is now the cheapest way to get him. He is the biggest villain in Dragons Rising so far, and the only ways that you could get him last year were in a $150 set, the Source Dragon of Motion, and then a $250 set, the Tournament Temple City, which were of course really expensive. I don't think this guy has come in a magazine yet, but it's nice to see that this guy is much more accessible now. Those are not the only ways that you could get him. He does come in Raz and Iron Super Stormjet, which is from this wave, for £45, and I'm thinking $50, which is still a lot cheaper than last year's sets that he came in, but it's still quite expensive. So it's nice to see that you get the main villain super cheap. One thing I did almost forget to mention was this armor piece that he comes with. Here is how it looks at the back. You can probably attach something to it, and it's in this glossy jet black color. And then moving over to Aaron, he has a brand new suit, which is surprising because Sora didn't get one, but he did. And this suit's design is extremely cool because of the concept behind it. Now of course, in the show, he's turned evil, he's partnered up with Raz, which this suit reflects his darker side and his evil path that he's following. First up, he does use the same hood as the other ninja, which puts some consistency in. A lot of minifigure collectors, they do put their figures together, so I like how they were thinking about that. But again, I just do not like the colour, especially the gold. The orange underneath is fine, but the main helmet part is in gold, which isn't seen anywhere else on his suit. Now for the old Aaron, that would have been, perfect actually, because there is some touches of gold on his suit, but on here it's nowhere to be seen. What would have been more suitable is a black or even the magenta purple that is used on that dragon printing for the torso. Both of those would have definitely looked better than the gold. Moving the hood is the same Dragons Rising Season 1 face print. Now it is a happy face print, which isn't bad, but he doesn't have an alternate face print. It's just a yellow head at the back, which is kind of disappointing because, they are ninja. They're either happy or they are angry because they are fighting and everything. And then especially for Arin, you know, he's turned to the dark side. He's partnered up with Raz. So he definitely is going to be angry. He even is in the poster. So it's a shame that they didn't decide to give us that face printing. This would have been the perfect moment. That dragon printing on his torso is definitely Thunderfang the Chaos Dragon. Now for the design on his torso, you can see that it reflects his, you know, his character going down an evil path. You have the black scarf and then the black left arm. Then the magenta purple dragon printing on his torso. Now he is presumably the Forbidden Fire's master. And then you have his symbol dropping down over his legs, which is the letter A in NINJAGO. Of course, standing for Arin. Turning him around, you can see his black scarf. And then the dragon's body carrying over to the back. On the dragon's body is his name in NINJAGO, Arin. So it's very exciting to see that this Raz comes for extremely cheap now. You don't have to pay a lot of money for it. And then Arin suit is also super cool. This is also the cheapest way to get him. He does come in Raz and Arin Super Stormjet 2 like Raz. But if you only care about the minifigure and not the jet and you want to pass out on it, since there is not an exclusive, this is definitely the way to go. And on top of that, they both come together. And that's my review for the new gimmick sets in this wave. I personally think these gimmicks are one of the best we've had in years, simply because they look a lot like Spinjitzu. You can mix and match them. The new Dragon Blade pieces are just extremely cool and unique. The minifigure selection is very good. Even in the single spinners, you get 2 minifigures for $10, as well as a cool little build. And the Raz and Arin Spinjitzu battle pack does cost the double price of a single spinner. However, it does basically come with an extra side build, which you're not really paying for. And then the play features of these are really cool. You fight your opponents and knock over the Dragon Blades, which reminds me a lot of the 2011 and 2012 spinners, which are some of the best classic spinners we've ever got to this day. And yeah, that's all of my thoughts. Let me know your guys' opinions down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. It immensely supports my channel and I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to be reviewing the other NINJAGO sets in this wave. Those videos will be up pretty soon. So if you subscribe, you'll be instantly notified. But with all that information aside, I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.